It's kind of wild when you think about it. Some of the driest, most empty-looking places on Earth are the ones holding the biggest stories. It's like deep under all that sand, secrets are just waiting. And today, we're going to dive into one of the most mysterious of them all, China's Tarim Basin.
Okay, so our story really kicks off right here. This place is called Shaho. Get this, an explorer found it back in 1934, and then it was completely lost to the desert again for decades. And this isn't just some old burial ground, no way. We're talking about an entire city of the dead, a literal forest of wooden posts and these strange boat-shaped coffins, all from 4,000 years ago, in the middle of one of the harshest deserts you can imagine.
And I mean, finding something like that just blows the doors off, right? It immediately begs the question, who were these people? What kind of civilization could possibly survive out here, let alone build a massive city for their dead that looks like nothing else on the planet? So the first clues started coming from the graves themselves. But as archaeologists started digging in and seeing what the sand had kept safe for all that time, well, the mystery actually got even deeper. You see, the super dry air of the desert created these incredible natural mummies. I'm talking perfectly preserved. Their clothes, their hair, even their faces were totally intact after 4,000 years. But here's where it gets really weird. A lot of these mummies, including this really famous one called the Beauty of Loulan, had features that looked, well, European. And their burial rituals were just as strange as their appearance. The dead were put inside these boat-shaped coffins, and all around them were these huge wooden posts, and they were very clearly shaped like phalluses for the men and vulvae for the women. I mean, really explicit stuff. That, plus all the bizarre wooden masks and figures, nobody had ever seen anything like it. Not in ancient China, not anywhere. Okay, so you've got this puzzle, right? People who look Western, but are buried deep in the East with a culture that's totally unique. It was a huge riddle, and to solve it, scientists realized they had to go smaller, way smaller, down to the molecular level. It turns out the real answers weren't just buried in the sand. They were locked away inside the very DNA of the Zhaohe people. And thanks to modern science, ancient DNA analysis was the key that could finally unlock their story. And what they found was absolutely stunning. Okay, so when they looked at the paternal line, the Y-DNA passed down from father to son, it was 100% West Eurasian, from the West. But the maternal line, the mTNA passed down from the mother, was a totally different story. It was a mix. Some of it was from the West, sure, but a big chunk of it came from the East, specifically from a group common in Siberian populations. So what does that all mean? It means these people weren't just a group of wanderers from the West. They were a true mix, a hybrid population. They were the children of people from both the West and the East who met and mingled. And this is the earliest proof we've ever found of a group like this in a Tarim Basin. Just incredible. So that solves one mystery, but it opens up an even bigger one, doesn't it? How on earth, over 4,000 years ago, did people from basically opposite ends of Asia even find each other? Well, the answer to that has less to do with who they were and everything to do with where they were. The key is the geography of the Tarim Basin itself. I mean, just look at this place. The geography is insane. The Tarim Basin is basically this giant bowl, a massive desert completely walled in by some of the tallest mountains in the world. So on one hand, it's totally isolated, but on the other, it's also a natural funnel. And we're talking huge, over 500,000 square kilometers. It's the biggest inland basin in all of China. The sheer size of it is just, it's hard to even wrap your head around. And that geography creates this amazing paradox. Yeah, the mountains make it a fortress, but they also act like a funnel. Anyone traveling long distances, traders, migrants, you name it, had to pass through the corridors right along the edge of this desert. So it wasn't really a barrier at all. It was destined to become a crossroads. And for literally thousands of years, that natural corridor became the main artery of the legendary Silk Road. The same paths that would one day carry silk and spices between empires were first walked by ancient people just like the Shaohe. And all that constant traffic of people, goods, and ideas, it transformed the little oases on the edge of the desert into these buzzing multicultural hubs, and the stories about them are still told today.
Take the lost kingdom of Loulan, for example. For hundreds of years, it was this thriving city on the Silk Road, famous for its culture and its wealth, and then it just vanished, swallowed by the desert. All that's left are ruins and the question of what happened. A little further down the Silk Road, you find another wonder, the Kizil Caves. This is a huge complex of man-made caves filled with Buddhist art. For more than 600 years, it was this incredible center for religion and art, a perfect example of how ideas came together at this crossroads.
And the art inside these caves is, wow, it's just breathtaking. You can literally see styles from India, Persia, even ancient Greece and China, all blended together to create something completely new. It's like a snapshot of the Silk Road's cultural melting pot, frozen in time.
But here's the thing. This story, the story of the Tarim Basin being this vital crossroads, it's not just ancient history. There's a whole new chapter being written right now, and it's just as important for our world today.
And the contrast is just amazing. Think about it. The ancient Silk Road was all about camel caravans carrying silks and spices. Today, a new kind of Silk Road crosses that same desert, but this one carries a very different, very modern treasure: energy.
Because it turns out, buried under the same sand that kept those mummies safe for millennia, there was another secret all along, one of China's biggest reserves of oil and natural gas. Places like this are now huge industrial sites right out in the middle of nowhere.
So, in the end, the basin's fundamental role hasn't really changed. With this massive pipeline stretching from west to east, the Tarim is once again a vital corridor. It's not carrying silt anymore. It's carrying the energy that fuels modern China's economy. It's gone from an ancient crossroads to a modern energy artery.
So, from the mystery of those first mixed families to the golden age of the Silk Road, and now to the energy needs of the 21st century, the Tarim Basin has always been this place of incredible meaning and change. It really makes you wonder, in a place where history gets buried and then found again, what secrets are the sands still keeping for us?